What's up guys, and welcome to some more BS. Today we are going to be playing another visual novel. Woohoo! You guys are so excited, I bet. This is called Narcissu. Yeah, Narcissu. I totally knew that. Anyway, let's just get straight in there and see how this game is. It's got great reviews. It's pretty old, obviously, but I'm going to check it out because these are kind of fun and, and entertaining to play, so let's do this. So here's the first one, and here's the side second, I guess. Select title. Select translation. Okay, so first one. Select translation. We always keep insanity spirit. I don't get it. What the heck is that? What is this? That one looks cool. Voiced, unvoiced. I want voiced, man. Those dazzling days. Those winter days. Certainly, since I was a child, I wasn't on the healthiest side. No chocolate. Let's turn that down. But even so, I went to grade school normally. During summer vacation, I played until I was tanned. Very dark. Very dark. June, soon after entering middle school. The day after we ordered swimsuits for the swimming class. Oh, that day. I remember that day as if it was yesterday. That would start next month. That time was the first time I experienced being admitted into a hospital. That's a fond memory. Just a little before the first semester midterms, a day where the rain that started to fall felt awfully cold. That's usually how rain feels. In the midst of that pure white sky of the rainy season, in the beginning, everyone in the class came to visit me each day. I thought I picked voice. How come she's not talking? And when I was discharged from the hospital during the weekends, they would come in my house to play. But that was just the beginning. Fall came, winter left, hospitalized, discharged, outpatient care, and then started again with the hospitalization. That is a vicious cycle. Book. Classmates who once were called friends, at some point became acquaintances, those jerks. And then turned to strangers, those jerks. With each turn of the season, it seemed that I was disappearing from their memories. It looks like it makes them uncomfortable. What, do you have AIDS or something? For those who live normally, my very existence. That's why I seem to have been erased. Numerous seasons, white overcast skies, passed without even the need to exchange words with anyone. You guys can read this crap. I don't know why I'm reading it. If you can't read it, you shouldn't be watching the video. I'm learning Japanese, obviously. How long did it take to say it was there? Oh, never mind. That my time seems to have stopped. So she's dead? That's a good start, I guess. Summer. Flowing sweat. Gross. In the driver's license examination area, a large electronic bulletin board was installed. All at once the lights came on, and like everyone else there, I searched for my own number. 237, 237. Scanning among the mostly lit light panel, I found my own examination number. Kathunk! Kathunk! That's a great sound. Because it was just past midday, the train car was quite empty. And in that empty car, I was on the way home from my examination center. In my left hand was the traffic regulation manual I had just received. In my shirt pocket was the brand new license. Yeah. With this, I am also normally licensed, eh? I don't get the joke. I murmured somewhat, but didn't feel any particular strong emotion. It's not like I wanted to drive cars, nor did I really have another purpose in mind. I just wanted to go, heh heh. I was just people... What? It was just people around me who were going to the training center and had recommended that I at least get a driver's license. So like, hey, why not? That night, when I reported to my parents that I got my license, it was like, so, was the short reply. In the experiment, I tried saying that I wanted to borrow the car, and just as shortly came a, you can't. It wasn't like I had wanted to drive the car, but the responses were exactly as I had imagined. They were those sorts of parents. Terrible. The next day, upon waking up, my chest hurt, and so I was taken to the hospital. They were like, but we can't. We don't have a car. Normally, I had little to do with things involving sickness. That was why waiting in the initial waiting room felt extremely boring. Finally, just when I thought the examination was over, this time I went to take x-rays and blood tests, was made to go. On top of that, for a long time, I was made to wait in boredom. The audacity. Without noticing, I had finished reading the 3 books of Jump manga that was in the waiting room and was reaching for a 4th. And just like that, I was made to take a paper for the medicine to a hospital. The brand new driver's license that's still laying in my straw pocket. It looked like the time for execute was a ways off. Or you just steal a car right now, that works too. Autumn 2004, Protagonist. Protagonist 2004 Autumn, why did they do that? Around when those very noisy that had stopped crying, as usual, I was in the hospital. Of course, it wasn't like I was always admitted in the hospital. I'd be in and out, like everyone else. Last month, I had my first experience with surgery. After being discharged, I commuted 5 minutes for outpatient care by scooter. And even from then on, admitted to discharge, outpatient, gradually moving to being admitted again. I didn't know anything about PET or ERESA, but I noticed through the comings and goings that a number of months have passed. In exchange with my decreased appetite, the types of amounts of drugs increased. Even I could see with my own eyes that my strength was declining. This is depressing. Why am I reading this? My legs felt a bit thin, but that's not your mat. The needle on the scale would tell me. And yet, I was looking at myself somehow objectively. Anorexia. As if watching a stranger. Like looking at a single scene on television. The suddenly things that happened to my body, my head, killed me. The feeling that was happening was real, didn't rise. And even so, that it was to be my own body, I could only watch myself from afar with cold eyes. It's just like an actual visual novel, like all we're doing is just watching and reading? Winter, around when Christmas trees were disappearing from the trees. Christmas was I don't even know why I said this. Perhaps it was due to it being the end of the year, but I was allowed to return home. In the end, it seemed to be only temporary, but even then, I was a bit happy. In a mix of rain and sleet, I returned home for the first time in a while. For some reason, everyone in the family was gathered. Even though my parents normally didn't speak much, while being a bit stiff, they smiled at me. The little sister, who I always argued with, made my favorite cream stew and fried shrimp. We sat next to each other in the katatsu. They peeled mandarins for me. They were excessively kind. That was the impression it left. During this time, I had just a bit of realization. Still left in my pocket, the brand new license. That license, without giving a rise to any practical value, might expire. Oh no. While having stiff, unnatural smiles directed at me. Calmly, vaguely, rather simply, I thought of that as if thinking of someone else. January 20th. Wow, whole year, man. Okay. The new year came and I returned again to the hospital. For some reason on that day, I didn't go to the 4th floor, but instead to a conference room was made to go. What? There, with my father and a doctor, I heard many things, was made to listen. It was that thing called notification, probably. They had an extremely indirect way of speaking, but in the end it seemed like I was going to die. I see. That was why I was only able to reply with that. I couldn't find other words. From when I entered until I left the room, that was all that I said. Accepting my answer, the doctor moved the ballpoint pen in his hand. Okay. Most likely it was the paperwork for the hospice. To the very end, he was very businesslike. My father was very much the same. It was such a simple thing. That was my honest impression. And then between that day and the next, I changed from the 4th to the 7th floor, from a six-patient room to a single. You're special, man. You got bumped up. And also, this 7th floor itself was a bit different from the other floors. For one thing, the air felt colder and more depressing. Excuse me. Depressing. The floors were sparkling, the ceilings were much higher and much broader. Oh, that's nice. Inside the rooms, it was extremely clean. The large windows seemed designed to let a lot of sunlight. However, the windows only opened a teeny bit, because they don't want people jumping out of them. When I tried measuring, it was just slightly smaller than allowing your head to pass through and smash the window on your face. The other thing was the color of the ID bracelets changed. Oh my gosh, I love that green bracelet. Since the day I was admitted, a vinyl bracelet was always wrapped around my wrist. Upon it, it was the name and blood type. That color had changed from blue to white. That's racist. High ceilings, white vinyl bracelets, windows that only could open 15 centimeters. The day I was transferred to the 7th floor, it was the day when the boring New Year's programs were still being broadcasted. The time I met her for the first time was also at the very beginning of the year. Who? Narcissu. What is she saying? It's not telling me. I'm assuming winter 2005, the 7th floor. Anyway, I think that's enough depression for one day. Yeah. Don't know what else to say about that. This was interesting. I don't know if there's going to be gameplay for it, but maybe I might just go ahead and check it out a little bit more, see if there's eventually decision making. I hope you guys enjoyed this very depressing look at life in a hospital. Yeah, this is a dark tone that we've taken. I don't know. I don't know anymore. But I hope you guys enjoy this one. Maybe I'll see you in another one. As always, catch you later, guys.